All right, hot off of episode 1 and 2, I cannot get enough of Demon Bluff. I'm playing a third round right away. Not a third round, a third episode worth. We're on Ascension 4 currently. This game, if you haven't watched the first 2 episodes, is a social deduction game for a single player. You've got a set of villagers that will give you information about other villagers, and you have some evil characters that will disguise themselves as villagers and explicitly lie instead of tell the truth. And you need to deduce which ones are evil and kill them. There are things that will corrupt good villagers and cause them to lie without you wanting to kill them. So you have to be especially careful on levels like that. This one, we've got Puka, which can corrupt adjacent villagers. We've got a witch that you cannot reveal the last card, so I'm not going to be able to see all of my villagers unless I kill the witch beforehand. And the minion, which is just a basic monster that lies and disguises. The Plague Doctor here is an outcast, so it has text that doesn't exactly help, but it doesn't exactly hinder your efforts. Sometimes they'll be good, sometimes they'll be bad. They're more of a toss-up, whereas purple cards are like strictly good if they're telling you the truth. So the Plague Doctor here, I mean, he's very good if you can get him to do what you want him to do, but it's hard to prove that he is a true character with the witch in play. Get into that in a bit. And it's hard to find the character that he specifically corrupts. I mean, with Puka, it's a bit easier to find corrupted characters, so you can be more sure of yourself that the Plague Doctor is telling the truth. So if you do pick a character that's corrupted, he will also tell you where an evil character is, and then you just get to kill somebody for free. Very nice. We'll start opening up some cards and see where this run takes us. 1 is evil of 6, 4, 9. Can't do anything with that information yet. I could open up all 6, 4, and 9 and see what they say about it. I am 4 cards away from a corrupted character. So let's say that the bard is telling the truth, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards away. This character is corrupted. And 1, 2, 3, 4 cards away. These 2 characters are corrupted. That doesn't exactly work because we have Puka, which is going to corrupt 2 villagers, the adjacent villagers. So like, let's say that this one is Puka to cause this one to be corrupted. Well, it also corrupts this character. And that's not kosher with Bard. Now, there is the possibility that the witch or the minion is also beside Puka to get rid of this corruption. But since we have a Plague Doctor in play, right, that's the only outcast, and we have 1 outcast in the deck up here, that means that the Plague Doctor is going to corrupt something else at random. So that means that, this character down here, the Bard, is not telling the truth. They are either corrupted or they are evil. Whatever they are, they're lying. So I'm going to leave pink on them. Or not pink, beige. Orange, orange. A 9 or 1 is a witch. Let's open up 9, see what they have to say about that. We've got a knight. So the knight can't die. So I could just try killing it right away to be able to see if it's telling the truth. But if it isn't, well, not that it's not telling the truth, it's corrupted and good. I could kill a character, like its ability doesn't work anymore. So I don't want to fire this off in the event that like Puka's nearby and is corrupting it. Let's open up 8, see what they have to say. The evils are not adjacent to each other. That could give us a lot of information if it's true, but we need to prove it to be true somehow. A fortune teller, which I can pick 2 characters and learn if either of them is evil. It will only tell me that yes or no, one of them is evil. It won't tell me the amount. 4, we've got a Plague Doctor. So this Plague Doctor corrupts 1 villager at game start, but there is the possibility that one of the... the minion, the witch, or Puka, one of the evil characters, has disguised itself as an outcast. So if I open up these 2 cards and see that this is the only outcast, then I know that it is safe. If I still have cards left to be opened, I can't make that deduction yet. So I'm going to open the last 2 cards. I can't because there's a witch. So let's try backing it up slightly by asking the druid if, let's say the Plague Doctor is an outcast, because it should say yes. Okay, this character is lying, so we know they're either corrupted or evil. I'm going to go under the assumption that we have 1 Plague Doctor, because it isn't likely that, the disguise picked the Plague Doctor. I guess, never mind. It is equally likely that it picks the Plague Doctor. It's equally likely that it picks any of these members. But I'm going to go with the assumption that the Plague Doctor is true because we have a health bar over here. If I damage somebody that I shouldn't be like if I kill somebody that I shouldn't be killing, it gives me the information that, hey, they're actually telling the truth under all circumstances. And it doesn't end the round yet. I will end the round if I kill 2 regular people, because let me go into the cards here. When you kill a good character, you lose 5 health. But if you kill something like the Plague Doctor, you are going to lose... Oh, it's a good character. Oh. I thought that outcasts you would lose less on. I thought it was 4 health, but that might be something with other outcasts specifically, or I could just be making it up. Whatever. I'm still going to assume that the Plague Doctor is true, and I'm going to test if the Druid is evil or corrupted. So it says 3 is not corrupted, meaning that because it is lying about this Plague Doctor, I'm going to kill it. Again, that's an assumption that the Plague Doctor is true. That's the first assumption that I've made to be able to deduce this, but it's one that I'm confident in making. There's Puka. Okay. And Puka will corrupt adjacent villagers, not outcasts. So, like, the reason why I'm saying that, yeah, I'm just going to assume that the Plague Doctor is telling the truth. He's the most likely one because he can't take his own corruption on, and he can't take usually the corruption of other, evil characters. Puka and the Poisoner will only hit villagers. I don't know if there's any other enemies later on that are going to corrupt outcasts, but I don't think they will. Not many outcasts speak, so it's not really a good thing to corrupt outcasts. Okay, so that means that you're always lying, but we don't have the Witch dead yet, so we can't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're telling the truth about this corrupted card, and Puka is being blocked by this character. The Plague Doctor has to be corrupting somebody else, right? So this character is still incorrect. But Puka is not the one making them incorrect. It's the Plague Doctor making them incorrect. That means that any of these other characters, if they are lying, we're all out of corruptions, so they just have to be evil. So now that I know that we've got 1 evil character here, I can ask the fortune teller, hey, are you evil? And if it says no, then they're lying and I can kill them. There are no evil characters here. I'm seeing an evil character here. I think you're lying. Nice. So that's 1 down. Okay, 9 or 1 being a witch on this character over here. Does that give us anything? 1 is evil of 6, 4, and 9. It would mean that this is a witch. Or hold on. There are no more corruptions left. So I'm completely safe to try to kill the knight, and either it is the witch or it's a good character that is not corrupted and cannot die. It cannot die, so that's fine. So if we have no more corruptions left, this one is either lying or this one is lying. If this guy is lying, 1 is evil between, 6, 4, and 9. That would implicate that none of them are evil. And this one is true. If I say that 9 or 1 is a witch... Okay, sorry. If I say that 9 or 1 aren't a witch, then the Oracle's fine. I think it's a 50-50 between Empress and Oracle. The Knitter doesn't give me any extra information either, and I can't open the last card, so let's hit the 50-50. I don't like the Empress as much. She looks too pompous. She got corrupted? How does that work? Now I need to rethink everything. Okay, so the Plague Doctor is corrupting you. Wait. 4 cards away from a corrupted character. Not corrupted, not corrupted, not corrupted, corrupted. 1, 2, 3, corrupted. So you are 4 cards away from a corrupted character because there are no more corruptions left. Puka cannot hit this character, and the Plague Doctor had to have hit the Empress. So if you're telling the truth and you're 4 cards away from a corrupted character, that means that you are safe back here because you're corrupted, you're not evil. And because 9 or 1 is not a witch, you are lying, so you have to be the witch. Nice. Okay, a flaw somewhere in my argument, or it was a 50-50 that I just had to pull. We've got 2 outcasts this round. We've got a chance for a Bombardier, a Doppelganger, or a Plague Doctor. Now I say a chance because Ba here will add 1 fake outcast to our deck view, which means Plague Doctor, one of these is just here that we can see right now, but it isn't actually going to be on the board. We'd get really lucky if we could see the Bombardier and the Plague Doctor to like rule out Doppelganger. I guess if we see, but we're not going to see everybody because of the Witch. Okay, that makes it difficult. We can't like rule out any outcasts. There are no sources of corruption other than Plague Doctor, but we can't see all of the cards, so we can't ever say for certain if there is 0 or 1 corruption on the board. Unless we kill the Witch early. Fortune Teller doesn't do anything. Fortune Teller, okay, so the Doppelganger could have picked up the Fortune Teller. So I disguise as a good villager currently in play. They have to... In play, in this case, does not mean revealed cards so far. It just means something that has already been on the board. So when they generated the board, they could have said that, oh yeah, we're going to generate 7 first, and then the Doppelganger gets generated afterwards, and it sees that, oh, Fortune Teller is a card I can turn into, and it does so. It doesn't see that, oh, you flipped over Fortune Teller. I want to play the Doppelganger. I can play the Doppelganger because the Fortune Teller has been revealed. It doesn't work off of open cards. It works off of all of the cards in play. Okay, 4 is a real Doppelganger. I'm kind of interested to open up 4 then. I am 2 away from the closest evil. The Doppelganger would still be telling the truth, but we'd need to find another hunter somewhere else. And we have a chance of doing that, but it's not certain because of the Witch. Here, Bard. There are no corrupted characters. Bombardier. Okay, so I want to say that the medium is telling the truth and that there is a Doppelganger and a Bombardier as outcasts. So then these 3 are all good villagers and none of them can be corrupted, meaning that these, yeah, all 4 of them are telling the truth. Now the knitter could be telling the truth and saying that there's a pair of evil, and that could mean that these 2 are evil or these 2 are evil. But that implicates this person in the middle right away. So to break this 50-50 of like saying that there's 1 pair of evil instead of splitting them apart, I don't know if I like that fully. I'd kind of want to use the Fortune Teller on people that I've assumed to be true so far. So we'll use it on 4 or 5 and 4, checking if the medium talking about the Doppelganger and the Doppelganger are good. And we'll use this Fortune Teller to see. So they're both saying that there's 1 evil there. So that is making me think completely separately, saying that these 2 are telling... No, because we can't have 2 of them that are telling the truth unless the Doppelganger is one of these. Okay, so we've got 5 saying that this hunter is the Doppelganger, and we've got the Fortune Teller saying that, hey, one of me is the real one of me is the Doppelganger, both of us are telling the truth, and they're saying shoot one of these 2. And if I shoot the hunter, then that means that he's not a Doppelganger, which also implicates the medium. So then these are the 2 evil cards. That means that we've got a Bombardier and a Copycat. So then you are true and you are true. I like this setup better. I'm going to shoot the medium. That's wrong. So then this is a Doppelganger. So then that means that you or you are, what is it? An enemy. If we have a Doppelganger, we're not allowed to have corrupted cards. You have to be safe. So that means that you have to be the fake Fortune Teller. Now, 5 or 4. Is there an evil there? True. This one is lying. There's no corruption on the board, so then it also has to be an enemy. So we had 2 things turn into Fortune Tellers. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, it is good to know that, what is it? This is the first time that it's happened. Both of these have transformed into one of the characters. This guy back here, still possible to be a Fortune Teller. We could have 3 Fortune Tellers on the board. We could have had 4 Fortune Tellers on the board with a Doppelganger. Okay, what's next? We have an option between Wretch and Bombardier from Ba, and we have Shaman creating 2 villagers normally. Like, it's possible that 2 villagers are generated naturally. If we have 2, we can't use the same logic that we did last turn to say that, oh yeah, one of them has to be evil, one of them has to be safe, because, like, yeah, in the last one, the Doppelganger was outside of the 2 that we had suspicions on. So then one of them has to be a disguised evil person, and we were able to kill them. We've got a fortune teller, we've got a judge, we've got a dreamer. None of them do anything yet. We've got a scout, which tells us twin minion is 2 cards away from the closest evil. Which, okay, that's a possibility. Not enough information to do anything yet. We've got a slayer. We've got a gem crafter saying 7 is good. We've got a second judge, which means that the shaman could have created these 2 judges. We can't put suspicion on them yet unless we find a third judge. There's our outcast, and there's another dreamer. Okay, so one of these 4 is lying because we've got a shaman to generate one of them. We've got a regular one on, like, say, just a regular judge spawning, and then a disguised judge. Or we can do the same thing of these 2 spawning in with a shaman, and then the dreamer is disguised as one of them. Now, can we figure out if somebody is telling the truth? 7 is good. The bombardier has to be good, so the gem crafter has to be telling the truth. So we can point both the judges at the gem crafter to make sure there's no source of corruption. There's no source of corruption, so if anybody's lying, we can instantly out them as being evil. So you're saying the truth, you're fine as a judge. We're going to pick you. You're saying the truth, so you are fine as a judge. So now, one of these 2 characters is evil, but I can't tell which one yet. And these 2 both have active abilities, so the only other information that I'm allowed to work off of is twin minion is 2 cards away from the closest evil, and it could be that this is an evil and this is an evil, and then it's 2 cards away, or these 2 are evils, and one of them being twin minion, and then it's false. So there's no information that I can get out of this card. So then I have to use the slayer, or I have to use the fortune teller. I'm going to test with the slayer to see if he is evil or not by asking him to kill the gem crafter. If he kills the gem crafter, I know he's evil, and I can point both of my dreamers at it. I couldn't kill 6, so he is telling the truth. So then the fortune teller. Oh, I could have done this earlier to be able to help get rid of some things before I pulled the slayer on like killing an enemy early. The fortune teller, I can pick 2 characters and learn if any of them is evil. I don't know if it's lying or not yet, but I can ask it about 2 characters that I know are like false. It's saying that one of them is evil. We know that both of these guys are safe already from their green tags. So you are lying. There's no corruption. We can kill you. There's the shaman dead. Now one of the dreamers has to be dead, and twin minion has to be 2 cards away from the closest evil. There's no possibility for the twin minion to be 2 cards away because we've got the dreamer beside the shaman. And then this card all the way down here, or we've got the dreamer here and the scout here. So if the scout is lying, then that means that I can kill the scout. And then twin minion is not 2 cards away. Is it I think it's a 50-50 between the dreamers. Actually, no, because I can learn an evil role. I can pick the dreamers on the shaman, and I could have done this earlier too. It could be Ba, that's lying. It could be shaman, that is telling the truth. So I kill this dreamer down here. Nice. No assumptions made. I think maybe I did earlier before. I just forgot. Rounds take a while. It happens. Because we've got Puka to corrupt enemies. We've got Poisoner to corrupt enemies. That's 3 corruptions on board. We've got a Doppelganger, which disguises as a good villager. Can still be corrupted after the fact, though. And we've got a Wretch. So we are guaranteed to get both of them because we have 2 outcasts in the top right. We've got an Enlightened. Closest evil is clockwise. If that's true, it's more likely to be false information down here. I want to play off true information. 5 is a real architect. Kind of want to open 5. Both sides are equally evil. So if 5 is a real architect, this has to be a lie. Wait, no, you can have one on the left and the right. I was thinking like you could only do that if they were in the middle, but that's me just not thinking about the problem. Okay. No information from there. 7, 3, or 1 is evil. Not enough information yet. 4 or 5 is a poisoner. Still not enough for me. Both sides are equally evil. Okay, so it can be the wretch, because it's evil, means that if the architect is true, we'd have to have an evil here, an evil on the right-hand side, and then the medium is evil. But if the medium is evil and this isn't a real architect, then that means that this is also red, and then we have 1, 2, 3 evil cards, and we only have 2 evils to kill. So that means that you are telling the truth, and you are telling the truth. Wait, both sides equally evil. How does that work? Hold on. No, you are lying. You're corrupted. My bad. And you are a real architect still? Hold on. Let me do this again, starting out with the assumptions from the beginning. So let's assume that the architect is good. If they're good, that means that they're telling the truth. Both sides are equally evil, meaning that the wretch and 1 evil on this side and 1 evil up here. That means that 5 is a real architect is a lie, putting an extra evil down here, and that puts us too much. So we're not allowed to assume that they're good. So we can assume that they're lying, either corrupted or evil. And it doesn't matter between those two, so I'm going to put it at, or not that it doesn't matter. I'm not able to deduce whether it is corruption or is being evil yet. So I'm going to put down yellow. Now that means that both sides are unequally evil. So you could put down 3 on this side, or you could put down like I'm trying to reason about if the medium has to be like valid or not. No, because you could have the medium be incorrect and then 1 more be over here, and then the right side is more evil. You could have 2 like this, and the medium is what is it? Valid, and then these guys are evil. So I can't get any more information about the medium yet. The evils are not adjacent to each other. So I could say that you are a poisoner. You poison the architect. You're incorrect, saying that the oracle also has to be wrong to be able to have, what is it? Evils adjacent to each other? No, I could put an evil here, and that also works. So I'm not able to do that line. I was trying to disprove 4 or 5 as being a poisoner. We have to open up another card. Knitter. Okay, so we have 2... Is there a shaman? There's not a shaman. Okay, so 2 knitters. One of these 2 has to be evil. And we have a lover. No evils adjacent to it. So I want to say that you are Puka. You are corrupting this person. And Puka is also corrupting this person. Do I have any other corruptions available? I have a poisoner. So then I could say... You? Hold on. There's only 1 pair of evil, and the evils are not adjacent to each other. Because I know that one of these guys has to be evil. You could be telling the truth. You could be telling a lie. There are no evils adjacent to you. You are corrupting this character because you're Puka. You are the poisoner, so you're only corrupting this character. 5 is a real architect, and the closest evil being clockwise is 1, 2, 3, false. So then that puts me in a state where I have an extra... What's it called? I have an extra evil marked down on the board, and I don't also have corruption that I can put down for it. And this entire chain started from me assuming that you were a poisoner. If you were Puka instead, you would be corrupted. You would be incorrect, and you would have to be the other evil, being the poisoner. But then there's only 1 pair of evil, and that doesn't work out because you have to be lying because you're corrupted. But you could be true, and you're the poisoner, and you are Puka up here. No, because if you're Puka, then you're... I'm thinking that this knitter is safe. But then how do you get corrupted? You don't, you're just evil, and then one side is more evil than the other. We have 4 or 5 being a poisoner. So you're a poisoner. You're poisoning this one to believe that the evils are not adjacent to each other. And that's true because these 2 are adjacent to each other. You are true because this is the poisoner, or one that I've assumed to be. There's only one pair of evil. That is a true statement. There are no evils next to you. That could be a true statement. The 5 is a real architect. That is a false statement. The closest evil is clockwise. That is also a false statement. So you would be Puka, and then this would be a false statement. 1 is evil. 7, 3, or 1. 7, 3, or 1. And none of them are evil. So then that means that this claim holds up. Okay, so this is a valid board state. It is one of the valid board states. I don't know if there are more out there, so I'm just going to try to confirm my suspicions by killing the architect as a poisoner. And that is exactly the assumption that I made. And now we can kill the architect up there, who is Puka. Oh, that feels good that like the entire board like corroborates a story, and it's just what worked, you know? Like, there may have been another answer out there. I didn't disprove. I don't know how to say this other than I used logic and I still got lucky, you know? Making the assumption at the beginning and then following a set of logic, it felt good to be rewarded for using all of those logical deduction skills, even though I knew in the back of my head that like I might have been wrong. Anyways, next round. We've got a counselor, which is going to create one more of these guys. So if there are 3 cards here, the counselor is creating one of them, and then there are 2 others on board. I guess we just get 3 outcasts. So that means we have 4 villagers and then these 2 guys. We've got 1, 2, 3 forms of corruption. It's going to be a rough round, honestly. I'll start opening up cards and see how it pans out. 8 is good. Let's see what 8 is. A dreamer. Hard to tell. No evils adjacent to the lover. We've got a slayer. We've got a judge. We've got a second lover, which could be a doppelganger. And this evil could be the counselor next to it. So let's say that this is the counselor, this is the doppelganger, which is a good card, but I'm still going to put it down as... No, I'll put it down as green. You would then have to be a good villager that the doppelganger copied. You would have to be incorrect as well. But then the other evil would have to be here because 8 is not good, it's an evil. And then that means that there's no way to corrupt this gem crafter. So this gem crafter has to be telling the truth instead of lying. Unless they're corrupted and something changes about that. I'm going to make the assumption that this gem crafter is true and play off of that assumption. If I get it wrong eventually, screw me, I guess. Okay, so both of these guys are good, meaning that we can use the dreamer to try to... I guess the dreamer being at the end of like the gem crafters isn't good because I can't use it before I know an evil roll, you know? That means that the doppelganger is one of these lovers. The judge could be the counselor then. The slayer, because I'm assuming these guys to be truthful, I'm gonna try pointing the slayer at this gem crafter. How lucky is that? Okay, so you're an enemy, you're lying, which, wait, if you're corrupted, that just means that you're the other evil? Right? But then I disguise as a good villager currently in play. If there's another slayer out there, this could be the doppelganger, which means that this is the counselor. Or it could be that this is the drunk. No, but if they're the drunk and they're lying, then it doesn't matter. They're still a yellow card and the counselor can be beside him. I'm killing the judge as the counselor. I mean, I can see if the judge is lying by asking if the slayer's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. So... Wait, that means he's good? Wait, how does the lover get out of the corruption then? I don't understand. Let's use the cards that we have and ask the dreamer if it's Puka. It could be a counselor. You're lying, so then you're corrupted. Puka is the only thing that corrupts. No, it could be a drunk here. But again, if this card is corrupted, then that means that it's incorrect in saying there's one evil adjacent to it. So then this is an evil. But then the evil would mean that you're lying and saying that 3 didn't kill 6 and 6 did get killed. Is that a bug? Did Puka not corrupt the lover somehow? I'm gonna kill the judge because that's what feels correct and it's what I would have done if I didn't use the judge's ability. Just because I don't want to open the last 2 cards and I want to get more points. No, it is telling the truth. It's not... What? What? This can't be the counselor because he needs to be beside a yellow card. The judge is not yellow. Puka is not yellow. So you're fine. You're fine. You're lying about saying that 8 is good. So you're corrupted or evil. And we can't corrupt anybody else. So the gem crafter, like the other gem crafter, is just supposed to go. But then how does the lover over here get... How does that make sense? I'm going to open up the rest of the cards, see what they say. Okay, so this druid, if it is telling the truth, should say that the bombardier is the only one in here because I'm going to put it on Puka and the judges, which we've locked in. There are no outcasts. You're lying. How is everybody corrupted? Oh, right, Puka. I should have used that information to my advantage, saying that you are always going to be lying. Can I ask you about where the drunk is and point you at the dreamer instead of the bombardier? So let's say that you are evil. That would mean that there isn't evil beside you, and that's not allowed, so you have to be good. If there are no evils adjacent to you, you have to be good. There's one evil adjacent to me, and that can't be the counselor, so then the counselor has to be one of these two, and I'm fine with ripping it on a 50-50, because one of them should be the drunk, right? Because there's 2 outcasts, so then I'm going to lose 4 HP. I think, hold on, let me double check with the drunk. Hints, you receive 4 damage instead of 5 when you execute me. Perfect. So I don't need to worry about this 50-50. I did. Oh, that's how it makes sense. Okay, yeah. I still don't get, what is it, this character down here, the doppelganger? Kind of sucks that I can't move this screen out of the way. But it says there's 1 evil adjacent to it. Oh, because it can't be corrupted because it's not a villager. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, definitely don't deserve that win, but we take those. We've got a counselor and we've got Ba. The only form of corruption we have is a plague doctor, unless Ba is not putting the plague doctor into play. Let's open up some cards, see what we have. We've got a Slayer between 7, 5, and 2, minion outcast villager. 1 away from the closest evil. 1 away from a corrupted character. So we'll know if the bard is lying or telling the truth by finding a plague doctor. So I would like to find that plague doctor. There is no plague doctor on board, which means that there is no corruption, so you are lying. And if you're lying and there's no corruption, you can just be killed. You're the counselor. Nice. Easy. Between 6, 4, and 2, there's an outcast, a villager, and a minion. So I'm assuming that you're a good villager and you're the one that the doppelganger duplicated, because it has to duplicate one of them. So a doppelganger could be corrupted after the fact, but there's nothing to corrupt him. So both of these guys are fine. So between, what is it, 6 itself, 4, and 2, there's a villager, an outcast, and a minion. So it's telling me that this one is the minion. And then if, let me just make sure that the other one is a minion. It's a demon. So it's telling me between 7, 5, and 2. There's a... it registers this one as a minion. Okay. Well, it wouldn't be able to tell me about the other guy anyways. You're one card away from the closest evil. That's true. We can tell if the judge is true or not by asking the hunter. 3 is saying the truth. So then the last character that is yet to say anything is the slayer. They have to be the evil character. Process of elimination. Okay, last village. We've got 2 outcasts, doppelganger and a plague doctor. This is the only form of corruption. Let's open up some cards. All right, there's at least 1 corruption on board, and there's a possibility that one of the enemies has disguised itself as a plague doctor. So I can't take this guy as being the true plague doctor yet. All right, so we've got a bombardier and a plague doctor, meaning that there is no doppelganger. Unless somebody transformed into the plague doctor. Oh, the doppelganger makes this rough. Unless we see another plague doctor or a bombardier, I can't make any assumptions. So I'm going to open up all of them to help me out. Okay, no, can't make any assumptions. The doppelganger is either dressing up as the jester, and then that implicates the plague doctor or the bombardier, or the plague doctor and the bombardier are fine, and one of these characters is evil. I have cured 0 corruptions. That's, I mean, quite possible. There are no evils. That's also quite possible. It could be that the knight and the jester are the ones that are evil. I'm going to assume that the plague doctor is not evil. He hasn't been changed. So I'm going to test the knight for corruption to see if I can kill them. Or do I just kill them even if they are corrupted? And then with the plague doctor, I can know that 100%. I'll use the plague doctor first on it. So it's saying that 7 is corrupted. So if it's corrupted, I could kill it. Let me try killing 4 as an evil character. Okay, so then you are lying. So then you have to be a character that is evil. You're a minion, which means that you are not corrupted. You're fine. But that doesn't give us very much pertinent information. No, it does. There are no corruptions on board. Nobody can lie. So now I can Dreamer the minion. It could be minion. You are safe. We've got a jester. We can pick 3 characters and learn how many of them are evil. We already know that you are evil. You are safe. You are safe. There are 2 evils. And I picked 1, 7, 5. That is too many people. Now, just to make sure, I'm going to do this jester to make sure that he says 1. There are 2. What? What? Among 1, 7, and 5, there are 2 evils. So if you're wrong, you have to be corrupted or evil, and there's no corruptions left. And if you're wrong, you have to be corrupted or evil, and there's no corruptions left. And that's too many evil people. So then one of these people has to be evil? Oh, 7 isn't corrupted, so I can test them to see if they're evil, and they probably are. Yeah, that's the case. Got it. Okay. Oof. Another ascension level without dying. I mean, I've lost a couple hearts, but never lost a full round yet. I wonder how long I can go. And I saw endless mode at the beginning. Maybe I could, after I'm done getting through all the ascensions, try out endless to see if there's hearts or not, or if you have to have like perfect play to make it through there. Because that could be fun to see how long I can go in endless. But that does it for this video.